Hello friends. In this video, we will talk about the top questions, most commonly asked questions asked in an interview of the profile of an accountant, right? So no matter which level you are at, whether you are a basic level accountant, a beginner level accountant, or an intermediate level accountant, a senior level accountant, a fresher, this video will help you in cracking your next interview. So I'll put my screen on screen share and show you the quick few questions which can really help you in crack your next accounting interview. So we have this particular blog on henryharvin.com which talks about that. I'll quickly help you in covering these 300 questions, the most common or most important questions which you cannot afford to miss out of these 300 questions. So we'll first start with basic level questions, the commonly asked questions which are covered covered in every interview, or maybe I would say most of the interviews. Then we'll talk about the fresher level, then the beginner level, then the intermediate level, followed by the expert level. After that, the core accountant questions, the financial analysis related profile questions. If you're applying for a personal accountant profile, then those questions, then senior accountant, followed by that of the HR questions. What are the HR level questions? And we'll also cover the commonly asked questions which you cannot afford to miss, again along with basic level questions. These are also the common ones. Then we'll also give you tips how you can crack interviews, the questions to ask the interviewer, very very important, tips for answering, how what are the techniques you can follow while you're answering these questions, and most importantly, what books to read when you are trying to crack an accounting interview. As you can see on my screen, we'll first talk about the basic level of basic accountant questions. So, three important financial statements, yes, very commonly asked, in which they would ask you that, okay, name the one statement to review the overall health of the company. That's which is again very, very important. Working capital, very importantly asked. And again, they will ask a question, what is negative working capital? So, these four questions you can never afford to miss. Along with this question, wherein they talk about how does capitalize rather than expense or purchase. So they even prepare for questions like these. Then we'll quickly talk about the fresher level interview questions. Again, why prefer to account as a profession? Why do you prefer to be an accountant as a profession? So they will definitely ask you this question because as a fresher, you don't have a background, right? So they don't know whether they can trust you to be in the accounts profile, right? Then again, what all talents are needed to become an accountant? So maybe not a very commonly asked question, but some may ask you. But this is very 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 commonly asked questions that mention some of the best accounting softwares. So maybe you should have skills in at least two of these seven eight softwares. So be prepared with that. If you're applying for SAP profile, a company which is using SAP, then definitely this question will be a very commonly asked question. And yes, they never forget the meaning of balance sheet and TDS. These are again important questions, and where to point out TDS within the balance sheet. So this is also a question which you may be asked as a surprise. So be prepared for such level questions. Now, if you are preparing for a beginner level, you already have around 1 to 3 years of experience. So these questions you cannot afford to miss. Again, types of business transactions which are there in accounting, which accounting platform have you worked for, and which one do you prefer? Again, very important. So be prepared that you should be aware of which platform the company is using. If in case you have skills in both 2 3 platforms, you should be preferring to say that answer in which the company is using that particular platform, right? Again, working capital here also it's important. Explanation of TDS, difference between trial balance and balance sheet. Never miss to answer this question. Deferred tax liability, GST, I'm assuming it's no longer relevant. This question, I think it's already 3+ years now since GST has come. Branches of accounting, yes, very very important. So next we move on to the intermediate level accountant. If you're of an experience of around 3 to 8 years, then you may be categorized in the category of being an intermediate level. So again, they may ask you that why did you choose this profession? Because at this level, a lot of people make a switch, right? This is a transition phase in which either you continue to be in this career forever, that of an accountant, or you may would want to shift. In majority cases, I have seen that switches are happening at this level only. So they would want to see that, okay, are you frustrated from this profession or would you want to carry on, right? So again, they would ask you, have you worked anywhere before? So you can mention about these places, and in most cases they would have at this level worked in minimum 1 to 2 companies. Again, what platforms you have expertise in, define debit and credit. So yes, this definition may come in. Basic accounting equations they would want you to explain. You may be expected to get at the project level, so maybe these things may also be asked. Branches of accounting here also is a very commonly asked question. What is marginal cost? Again, is an important question. Offset accounting, definitely. Trade bills, definitely. These are few commonly asked questions which you should definitely be prepared with. Next, we come up to the expert level accountant interview questions. So again, what at this level, mostly you are 8 years, 10 plus years of an experience, having good skill set. I'm assuming that even after spending 8 years, 10 years of career, time in accounting, you are having good handsome experience. So at Henry Harvin accounting and taxation course, we are also preparing you to be there at an intermediate expert level. Even if so we are assuming that you are already having X years of experience. So we have prepared a very specialized program at Henry Harvin called certified accounting and taxation practitioner. And if you are at the fresher or beginner level, this particular course which we have will really help you in bridging your gap and move up to the skill set of that of an expert accountant. So they would want to know what all challenges you face in the accounting professions today, because at this level you are mostly at the senior level in an organization. So you are expected to solve problems of your team, of your own individual daily routine. So define any accounting process that you would have developed or sought to improve. So as I mentioned, you are at a senior level. So here you are more into process level discussion. So again, you are taking a project such as cost reduction related. Again, as I mentioned, you are more at the process project level. So again, deadline related work you will be expected to work on, because you are not only responsible for your own individual performance but that of the team as well. You would be defining, so they may expect you to define you dual aspect term in accounting. This is also very commonly asked question. You may be also be expected to be an expert in MIS reporting by now. Okay, next we talk about the core accountant related questions. So if I talk about the hardcore accountant related questions, so these may come, like for example, what are the prerequisites of revenue recognition? What important is documentation when it comes to accounting? What are the accounting values? What is fixed asset registers? List down the important cost control techniques. Mention whether the accountant account cash is going to be credited or debited when a corporation pays a bill. So these are all questions which are hardcore accounting related. So I would want you to cover all those questions, never to miss any of the questions. And I'm quickly navigating through it. I would request you to maybe search on Google Henry Harvin top accounting interview questions. You'll find this entire list. Now we are talking about financial analysis interview questions, where again you'll be expected to differentiate between working capital and available cash bank balance, because you are more at the financial level, no longer at just the accounting level. So again, assume you are given financial statements of three different competitors. Very, very important questions. You are required to ascertain of these three in the best financial shape. What are the two major parameters that you will use to judge? So again, these are all very, very important questions. Mind brainstorming related questions, mind involving questions. Now again, suggest improvements, which improving the working capital flow of the company. How you can do that? So this is where you will be expected to take care of at the financial level. Uh, Now we're talking about the personal accounting related questions. So what are challenges you face as an accountant? What is your daily routine going to be? Because you're more working as a personal accountant for an individual. If you are made the CFO of this company, what are the challenges you would recommend to the board directors of the company? Tell me something about yourself. This is more of an HR question. If you have a stressful day, how will you be handling it? So again, that is a level of question which is more at a personality level. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's not personal accountant. It's more of a personality level, wherein you're applying for a very, very senior level position, where you're kind of the face of the organization. So these are the questions which you may be expected to answer. Now we'll again go down to senior accountant level, wherein you'll be expected to answer questions like list down the errors when affect which affect balance and errors which doesn't affect trial balance. What are the important terms used in the record? Why is it easier for somebody to perpetuate fraud employing a journal entry than a ledger? Why use an ERP? Have you ever used it before? Which ERP have you used before? Difference between effort balance and a balance sheet. See, these are again technical questions which a senior accountant may be expected to answer, because he or she would again be handling a team, not maybe not at the head level, but minimum at the head level, minimum at a senior level, senior to head level. In smaller organizations, you may be the head. In bigger organizations, you may be somewhere at the intermediate level. What are the bank reconciliation statements? And what are the steps to organize it? Very common problem which most organizations face, whether small or big. So your basics have to be very strong because you'll be answering a lot of hardcore technical questions. What are the three main types of accounts? Again, why is depreciation not charged on land? These are all very expert level accounting questions, which you as a senior accountant will be expected to take care of, and you'll find a good list of questions. So I would really suggest you should go all through all these questions. Not don't miss even a single one because these are all hardcore technical questions, and we have done a lot of research before curating this content to help you crack your next interview. This we got through our experience of giving placement support to students of Henry Harvin. When I say students, they're not just students, but they are really maybe people having good experience in conducting interviews, etc. That's what from this data from the Henry Harvin placement team we got to know about these questions, which are really commonly asked. So we jotted down the answers and we really use it internally also. HR level questions. I think these are very commonly asked questions, which whether you are an accountant or not, you will be asked. But from an accountant, we found these questions like, tell me more about yourself. Why should we hire you? What are your greatest strengths, greatest weaknesses? This may or may not be asked, but above two questions will definitely be asked. Why does one want to go away or having left your current job? Why did you leave your last job or your current job where you're working? Salary expectations, or they may simply want to know what's your last round salary and maybe quote somewhere around that. Why do you want to handle? Why do you want this job? Handle stress? Not very regular questions, but yes, maybe asked about pressure. Definitely, your goals in future. Yes, very important. They would want to know how soon you would be leaving the company, right? And then FAQs and accountant level in questions. These are again very commonly asked questions. So again, I would suggest maybe all accountants should be aware of these questions at least. These are very important basic questions, which as an accountant you should be aware of. If not, then please go through these questions. Tips, very important. Dress professionally. Give a good greeting. Come with a smiling smile. Provide solid responses, confident responses. Respond with a thank you. Be very polite. Even if you would have to wait, don't. Even if you have to wait, don't lose your patience. So these are a few questions which you should definitely ask. Can you tell me more about the individual in the role earlier to me? Why did he or she quit? Very important questions. You may get to know more about the company. What did you like most about the people? Most about you being employed with this company? What's the next step in this meeting process? So these are a few questions which you should definitely ask. And tips, yes, these are few q and these are few words the meaning of which you should be aware of. And yes, the most important questions, the books which you should read. So Accounting Made Simpler by Mike Piper, my favorite. Definitely you should go for this. Guide to Indian Accounting Standards by BD Chatterjee. If you are working in bigger organizations, you should definitely be aware of these things. Accounting Cheat Sheets, yes, good. Financial Statements, very good book. Warren Buffett Accounting Book, a good book again. That's all from my end. So would sign off uh, from this uh, from this video for now, and would really recommend you to check out this blog, get to know more about it, and the questions which I've highlighted in this video are the most important questions which we have observed are definitely asked. So that's all from my end. This is Kunal Gupta, CEO of Henry Harvin Education. Take care. Bye.